who might be living right next door, unseen, unheard, but always there. We're not just talking about the neighbor who borrows your lawnmower and conveniently forgets to return it. No, we're talking about neighbors of a different kind. The kind of neighbors who don't come from the house next door or the next town, or even the next country. We're talking cosmic neighbors, the extraterrestrial variety. Imagine for a moment we're not alone. Not in a spooky, ghostly kind of way, but in an E.T. phone home sort of fashion. Suppose our planet is just one house in a massive, sprawling, universal neighborhood. We've got our little blue-green plot, and right next door, there might be someone else on their own little plot, just doing their thing. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I've never seen an alien, so how could they be living among us? Well, think about it. There are plenty of things we can't see, right? We can't see air, but we know it's there. We can't see love, but we believe in it. We can't see Wi-Fi, but we'd be lost without it. So why is it so hard to believe that there might be beings living among us, just beyond the reach of our five senses? But here's the kicker. These extraterrestrial neighbors of ours, they might not look like anything we'd recognize. They might not be little green men or tall, slender beings with big eyes. They might be something else entirely, something we can't even imagine. Because let's face it, our understanding of life is limited to what we know on Earth. But who's to say that's the only way life can exist? So, next time you're staring up at the night sky, remember, we might be part of a much bigger neighborhood than we ever imagined. And our neighbors might not just be unseen, they might be unimaginable. And that, my friends, brings us to the million-dollar question. And if our next-door neighbors are extraterrestrial, why haven't we noticed them yet? Bustling city, thousands of inhabitants, but some of them aren't exactly what they seem. Now, let's dip our toes into the realm of the extraordinary. The idea that aliens could be living among us, undetected, disguised as fellow humans. Sounds like a plot straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? But bear with me. Nature on our very own planet is rife with examples of creatures that take on the appearance of others for survival. Take the stick insect, for example, a master of camouflage, blending seamlessly into its surroundings to elude predators. Or consider the mimic octopus, a creature that can impersonate more than 15 different species to avoid detection. If simple creatures can accomplish such astonishing feats of deception, just imagine what a technologically advanced alien species could do. Imagine an alien race with technology so advanced, they could manipulate light or molecular structure to create a perfect human disguise. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Holographic technology, still in its infancy in human society, could potentially be used to create a perfect 3D disguise. And then there's the concept of nanotechnology, tiny machines capable of altering matter at a molecular level. Imagine an alien race that has mastered this technology, able to alter their own physical form at will. But it's not just about physical appearance. To blend into human society, these hypothetical aliens would also need to mimic human behavior. They'd need to understand our complex social rules, our languages, our habits. And if they're technologically advanced enough to disguise themselves, who's to say they aren't advanced enough to understand us? Of course, this is all speculative. We have no concrete evidence that such aliens exist or that they are living among us. But it's an intriguing thought, isn't it? It certainly adds a dash of mystery to our daily lives. So could your friendly mailman or your favorite barista be an alien in disguise? Intriguing, isn't it? If aliens are living among us, how do they feel about sharing their space with humans? Imagine sharing your apartment with a roommate who comes from a completely different culture. You would have to navigate a sea of differences, from food choices to sleep schedules and even communication styles. Now, amplify that 1,000-fold and you might start to get a sense of what cohabitating with aliens could be like. Aliens and humans, presumably, would have evolved under drastically different conditions, leading to a plethora of potential societal and cultural differences. For instance, while humans are predominantly visual creatures, aliens might rely more on other senses, like smell or touch. This could create an interesting dynamic in communication, with each species trying to understand and adapt to the other's sensory language. From the human perspective, cohabitation with aliens could be enriching. It could open our minds to different ways of thinking, behaving, and problem-solving. We could learn from their technology, their culture, and their philosophy. However, there could also be drawbacks. Fear of the unknown could lead to xenophobia and conflict. Differences in biological needs could create logistical challenges. And what if they have a completely different concept of personal space or privacy? From an alien's perspective, the pros and cons might look a little different. They might be intrigued by our human culture, our emotions, our art. On the flip side, they might find our human behaviors and customs baffling or even repulsive. And let's not forget the potential biological hazards. Humans carry a whole host of germs that could be harmful to an alien species. In essence, cohabitating with aliens could be a complex dance of adaptation, negotiation, and understanding. It would be a continuous learning process requiring empathy, patience, and a lot of open-mindedness. Living with aliens, it seems, could be as complex as navigating a multicultural city. What if one day the disguise falls off and the truth comes out in the open? This is the question that hovers in the back of our minds, the whisper that lingers in our collective consciousness. The Great Unveiling. The day we discover that we've been sharing Earth with extraterrestrial beings all along. Now let's ponder this. What might be humanity's reaction to such an earth-shattering revelation? Would it be panic, acceptance, or curiosity? Let's delve into this a bit further, shall we? Firstly, there would certainly be an initial wave of shock and possibly fear. We're creatures of habit, after all. We fear the unknown, and what's more unknown than aliens living among us? There'd be confusion, chaos, maybe even a dash of global hysteria. We've seen this in countless science fiction films, but could it be our reality? But, as the dust settles, acceptance might follow. We've always been adaptable, haven't we? We've survived ice ages, wars, pandemics, and more. We'd learn to adapt to this new truth too. We'd accept our extraterrestrial neighbors, learn from them, and maybe even grow as a species because of them. Then there's curiosity. Oh, the curiosity, the questions would be endless. Where do they come from? What's their culture like? What technologies do they possess? This could lead to a revolution in science and technology. Our understanding of the universe could expand in ways we've never imagined. And let's not forget about the political implications. Governments would have to reassess their policies, their alliances. We'd have to redefine what it means to be a citizen of Earth. It could be a time of upheaval, but also a time of unity. A time when we realize that we're all inhabitants of this tiny blue dot in the vast cosmic ocean. The day we discover our true neighbors could be the biggest plot twist in human history. And who knows, maybe that day isn't as far off as we think. The Great Unveiling could be just around the corner. So, let's keep our minds open, our hearts ready, and our eyes to the skies. So, we've journeyed through the intriguing possibility of sharing our lives with extraterrestrial beings. We've pondered the concept of unseen neighbors residing right under our noses, and delved into the notion of a galactic masquerade where the extraordinary hides in plain sight. We've contemplated the coexistence conundrum, asking ourselves how different or similar we might be to these otherworldly inhabitants.